So, hello. I make one again about chauvinism because I think it's an important and not that some people understand that wrong. There is not, in first case, not a lot about to say about it because it's simply from the history term about chauvinism, what is a totally different meaning of it because it's get manipulated over the time. So chauvinism get to be a self sorry, is normal. They change chauvinism into a normality. Means like a closet party, but how you can be a closet party to chauvinize yourself? That's chauvinist. Typical chauvinists. They make because they not can make a private party about chauvinism to chauvinize themselves. They get change it and get chauvinized globally. So that's exactly the problem. So chauvinists are people, they have create in their life an obsession for brutality, for some um, obscure stuff, not obscure stuff normally, some really obscure stuff like uh, as example, sleeping better when there is a deaf body under the bed. Extremely, right? When it's not a psychological disorder, so chauvinism in first is a psychological disorder, but when it's not a psychological disorder, it's simply to feel great about it, right? Because he's over a deaf body. That's chauvinism. Or to bring a human in a slow time to die. That's also chauvinism. So there is all the calculation how I can get the creepy stuff done, right? In nearby it seems same like psycho murders. That's all chauvinists. When you hear the word sadist, it's nearby the same. There is no difference about it. But the chauvinists, they can globalize themselves more easy, right? They can say, okay, I'm a chauvinist, and that's okay. So chauvinism is a virus. They attack the world on a way where it's in the process of chauvinism, it's legalized themselves. I think that's a not bad art to say what it is. And this world is a problem is it is a lot of chauvinism. What is a problem? Because if you're a child and you grow up, and there can be all good, and then they begun with chauvinism and this all fail. That's chauvinism. It's also called satanism, but in end effect, it is chauvinism. So it is a technique where you can say you will have that chauvinists all go down to hell, right? So what they doing, they want to go to heaven, right? So simple, they like this to have what you didn't like that they can have. So if you like go to heaven, they like bring you to hell. And only this context is the part what there are interests on it. So if you say then, when you go to heaven, there is a big happening for God. He will eat you guys. God will eat you. And in this context, they react and work. So if it is not sane, and you say, I like you guys go to hell, they want to go to heaven and bring you to hell and say that's when you say that, then we make that with you, right? And the only one can switch this is God himself, right? And so on. It's really complicated. I have forget how it's exactly work. I have think it and it's work, but how it's exactly work. So anyway, it's really complicated to handle with these peoples, because it's, when you look the history, there is chauvinism versus women's a term, right? It is a term, anti-feminists or something like this. These are chauvinists, right? But this is not exactly, because when you see that, you can see that man married woman and woman married man, right? And the chauvinist like to marry the woman, a woman not like to marry the man. So the chauvinist is happy when the woman not like to marry him. And the normal man like to marry the woman when the woman like to marry the man. Right? So he likes to marry the woman. But he is not angry about when she not married him. He is crying. He feel bad that she didn't love him. But for the chauvinist, he like to marry the woman what it hates to marry the man. So he is interested in the pain of the other human, and not interesting in the peace and the harmony of the other human. This is typical chauvinism, right? And this have also a not only psychological, it has also science. It is also science, because chauvinists, um, they have reactions on this planet. They have anyway. And they can reaching some goals with chauvinism, but the problem is it is ever with the same conditions that they know they will go to hell. And if it's they go to heaven and get eaten by God. So the result is, in any situation, in any fact, the same situation. I think so. This is my opinion, right? So if you see a photo with a man have lost of his half head, right? So the half of the head is lost. This is what chauvinists are like. They like this. So they are interesting in some brutally curious and so obsessive brutally stuff, also called snuffies or splatters, all that kind. And to deal with them is dealing, not dealing, just to live with them is there you go to the church, There you go to the church. If you think you have to go to the church, you go then to the church, because these guys. Yeah. So I think it is probably ending of the Kyoto Protocol. So they can also react over bringing stress or something, make stress or something to get it come into chauvinism. So pulling a reaction on some stuff where it's no reason for a reaction or whatever it's happened. They have their own way of science how they become happy. And when you see then the videos about the term chauvinism, they call so absolutely normally about chauvinism. And it's a little bit of this racism chauvinism and a little bit of this feminine chauvinism. But then they didn't like to call themselves chauvinists, so they make about them a different name, no more chauvinists, because they don't want to say that they are in real chauvinists. Yup, that's it. That makes life simply sad. It makes life sad. Maybe you see chauvinism is no way at him, right? There is no in TV police where they say, "Are you a chauvinist?" Why? Because they are chauvinists, probably. Yeah, that's difficult. It's difficult.